Is a review just an opinion? I can understand why some people would think that. Looking back at some of the reviews I've seen on the internet in the past few years, some of them are just opinions, mostly wrong ones. And they don't come from someone's personal blog where they just wrote what they thought about the game and didn't actually understand it fully. No, these were reviews published by places like GameSpot, which should have a bit of a higher standard when it comes to actually publishing content. Reviews that were written, well, by someone who evidently did not play the games that he reviewed. You probably know the scandal behind the Natural Selection 2 review that GameSpot had published a couple of years ago, which did not reflect the reality of the game, as if the person that reviewed it did not actually play it. Now, I would have given that reviewer the benefit of the doubt had I not known that reviewer's previous work, which also included articles written for GameSpot and 1UP, again of games that reviewer did not play. And they weren't written in the same month or in the same week, before people actually had the chance to see that he has the habit of not playing the games he reviews. No, they were written years apart. And in all instances, people complained that that reviewer did not actually play the games. But it was only when the developer stepped in that GameSpot actually took notice of this and published another review. A better one that actually reflected what the game was. So that's why when I see people saying on the internet that a review is just an opinion, although I would like them to tell them that no, a review is not just an opinion, I have little ground to stand on, because although a review by definition should not be just an opinion, this is how a lot of people actually make reviews. They just make opinion pieces. Nothing more, nothing less. Here's what I thought about a game. And in a way, that's not a bad thing. It shows that person's experience of the game. But it's not a review, it's an opinion. And there's an important distinction between the two of them. One that isn't fully understood. So the line between review and opinion is murky, it's blurry. And the two just seem to be the same thing after a while. And to me, that's annoying as hell. Especially when I read comments about reviews. Namely negative reviews. I see them regarding movies non-stop on all sorts of sites and on Steam about games, where just about everyone will say regarding a bad game or a bad movie, don't trust the reviews are wrong, man, those critics don't know what they're saying, they're all wrong, try it for yourself, then you'll see that it's great. I've seen those comments about Batman v Superman, I've seen those comments about the latest Turtles game, always with the hyperbole with, well, if 1,000 critics said you should jump off a bridge, why don't you jump off a bridge? And that was an actual comment I read about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game when it was released. Someone that didn't even have the game was defending its honor because someone said the game was bad. And pointed out that critics said the game was bad. And guess what? The game was bad. And that comment stuck with me because that person didn't understand what a review should be. A review isn't jump off a bridge if people tell you to know. A review is that restaurant's food may give you food poisoning. Notice the difference. One of them, the jump off a bridge part, isn't a review. It's someone telling you their opinion of what you should do. The other one, you will die if you eat there because the food is poisoned, is actually something useful, beneficial to the consumer, to the end user. It's a warning. It's an observation. It's something made to help people. And yet some people are just dead set against the reviews. And this thing blew sort of out of proportion regarding the whole Batman v Superman thing. I've seen the movie, it's a lot of quite a lot of and yet people were all, don't believe the reviews, don't believe the reviewers, they're all lies, go see it for yourself. Go pay money to the people that made the movie and then be disappointed because you did that. The people that constantly argue against reviews are incredibly anti-consumer, to the point that I'm starting to believe that some of those people, the ones that begin the whole reviews are dumb, critics that have years of experience doing this have no idea what they're talking about, what the reviewers do anyway, are actually being paid by the studios, or are actually the people that made the movies and the games who just can't stand the idea that you insulted their baby, that you criticized their child. It's that kind of thinking that just makes you go in circles and circles and circles until you don't actually make anything that's better, that's improved, that's superior to what you once did. There's no growth there. There's stagnation. There's worse, there's regression. Without reviews, without criticism, without someone telling you, hey, you could have done that better, odds are you're not actually gonna want to improve, because you'll believe you did everything right. You'd be surprised at how few people are actually able to see that they're doing something wrong, that they're doing something in a way that isn't yet good enough, that is imperfect. If you have the ability to self-regulate your thought process, to take a step back and look at what you've done and actually look at it as if you weren't the one making it, as if you didn't have an emotional attachment to what you created, then odds are critics wouldn't really have that much to do, because you would be able to improve the process on your own. And there are quite a few people capable of doing that, to a certain degree. And some people are just incapable of doing that, like, well, I don't know, Randy Pitchford of Gearbox, who keeps saying to people that, why yes, Duke Nukem Forever really is a staple of fantastic game design. And people that didn't like it just didn't understand it. Well, Randy, that's just your opinion, because a review is not an opinion. Do you want to know what a review is? Well, you do, because that's why you click on this video. A review is work. A review is hard work at dissecting a product, be it a movie, a game, a book. Not that anyone actually wanted to review my book, even though I gave it away for free, because, oh, fun fact. Game reviewers like me can get video games for free. Developers are very generous in giving away free games just so people could review them, like the one from Play Now, Demetrius. That was a game I received for free from the developer, and it's an okay game. But when it comes to books, no one will even talk to you if you don't pay up first. And not to get a positive review, no, just so they would cover it. But back to the main idea, a review is work. It's a process that you go through until you understand the product, until you have successfully, to the best of your abilities, understood it, and then are able to explain it to other people, are able to exhibit its qualities, its defects, its meaning, and offer some feedback on how it can be improved, on how it can be used better, on how it can evolve, on how it can be enjoyed the most. And paramount to that is the reviewer's experience. Without that experience, a review is incomplete, because it will boil down to just an opinion. You'll probably notice that all the reviewers, and I mean people that have been in this job for years, decades, tend to not be that happy when they talk about another cover shooter, about another linear FPS. That's because they've played all of them, or most of them, or they vividly remember games like these, but much better made, with less technology, less money, less people, and a lot less marketing. Make no mistake, marketing as a consumer is your enemy. A review is your friend, because that review tends to counteract the marketing. Not that all marketing is bad, but marketing often relies on deception. Lots of deception. Going to the point where if someone's actually honest about their product, about their game, they just seem like they made a very poor game. Or they didn't know how to sell it, how to lie to you about it being more than it is. And that's where reviews come in. Reviews are supposed to filter out the bullshit and show you what shines, not the other way around. Reviews should not be marketing tools, and yet they are treated as such by the games industry. They are a way to promote your product, but influencing in quotation marks publications to give you a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 for exclusivities, for monetary gain, for putting Jessica Chobot in Mass Effect 3. That's not the kind of thing you actually should do if you expect people to respect the idea of a review and separate it from it being just an opinion. To summarize, a review should not be an opinion, but at this point I'm probably the only person that's still left who cares about this idea, so why do I even bother? And with that, we conclude this week's edition of Old Man Yells at Cloud. If you enjoyed this show, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Or, if you thought it was horrible, then share it with your enemies and make them suffer. We shall be your weapon of vengeance. But if you liked what you saw, you could, I don't know, maybe donate, because basically YouTube is horrible at revenue, by using the link in the description, or just buy my book. It's a fantasy book about, well, a lot of stuff. I guarantee it won't suck, and if it does suck, you can find me here and complain about it.